Welcome back. If you're just joining us, where have you been? You've missed out on 2 great games. In the words of one of the players for Reason Testers, he said it was sick. And I'd say it's unbelievable. Listen, anyway, Game 3 is up next, and we're getting ready to get strapped in for a brutal encounter between 2 sides, both desperate for the win. We turn our attention then to Prophecy, who need that win, and XL. Let's talk about it. I mean, on paper, you'd reckon that XL should take this match on current form. They've got a win in the bag. But can Prophecy turn up and show us something that they haven't already?
I'd like to say that they can, but it's just, you know, statistically, like every situation we've got here, it's hard to say that they will. Like, we haven't seen anything promising from them. It's seemed a bit lackluster overall the past 3 weeks, and it just all points towards that XL win. Really.
Yeah. Well, indeed, but Prophecy had come from some sort of a line of good performances in other competitions. So why is it not clicking in the Elite Series?
Well, the team that we see here is actually the second Bulgarian team. Now, Bulgaria isn't known for having the greatest scene in the world, but the first team is quite good, reasonably. The second team, however, is actually a conglomeration between 2 separate teams. So they've taken the second and third Bulgarian teams and meshed them together. And I just don't think it works. To be completely honest and not being harsh, I just don't think it works. And perhaps they need to look at a roster change or changing up something needs to change, essentially. Because normally you'd have peaks and troughs. They just seem to have troughs.
OK. All right, well, I'll take that on board. Well, hopefully something will change. Well, listen, XL will be looking to recapture the spirit of last week's game when they took on an Infused side that was riding high with confidence. Let's just say Boaster's boys were excellent. OK, that's not even a proper pun.
Gets into the elevated angle, struggling to find a headshot. He falls to Boaster.
Out of nowhere, XL come back. That means XL hold on to the 4th place in the playoffs.
Face palms across the board from XL. They know that's pretty much the final nail in the coffin here for their chances in week 1 of the Elite Series. Last week, they lost to Epsilon on Cash. This week, it's looking like they're going to lose to Endpoint on Inferno. He has to try and push through. He doesn't realize there's a man behind him. XL pick up the victory. Finally, they're able to bring together a win.
Right then, let's have a look at the Week 3 Omen MVP. It was, of course, Jacob from XL, 16 kills, with an elite rating of 13.17. The reason for that is they got that first win. Pistol whipping left, right, and centre on Mirage. What did you notice from Jacob's performance? Was it his new role in the team?
Quite average, really.
Statistically an average performance, but considering he was now put into the IGL spot as well as AWPing, he had a pretty good performance. Obviously, the thing you remember very well is the pistol round on the CT side, which was quite the feat to watch.
And based on a player that you know has up and down in terms of performances, yes, the stats, they don't lie. But at the same time, what he gave the team as a boost when they needed it helped XL get that win.
Yeah, stats don't lie, neither do the hips. And on this occasion, he shook it, baby. So, Jacob, at the helm of his team, and as you put it, Tom, for putting up with Boaster, I think he gets the gold star on this one, on the star chart. OK, and
also we've got Luzza there and Connor, which everyone's excited about his performances. Quite an interesting one when he turns up and wants to perform. Connor can be very, very dangerous. Would you say there was one star player for that XL team?
I wouldn't say. Like, they've not, like, you know, it's the same as, like, well, it's actually quite similar to Method in a way that they've got 4 players who can all kind of pop off at any moment. Like, they've all got, you know, an overall good team performance. Like, there's no distinct person who'd be like, this guy always does this. Like, they've all are all capable of doing it. So if you did have to put one forward the past few weeks, I'd probably say it's Luzza. Like, their switch to rifles seems really good. OK, so star player we know for XL, in SJ's opinion. I'm going to take a prediction quickly from you, Harold. Is this going to be Prophecy's first win? Maybe even a point? Or is it going to be all about XL and the noisy Boaster in the background?
I've got to go with XL.
OK. What about yourself, SJ?
I'm going to say that Prophecy get their first point of the season, but it's going to be an XL win, though. OK, I'll take that.
I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk. Do you know what? I'm just going to walk. I just feel like it. Just stretch the legs after that. Gentlemen, how are you doing, NATO? Kai and I, what an epically long, exciting game that matchup 2. But matchup 3, Prophecy needing a point, and XL could potentially get that second win. Who do you reckon's going to get this?
My money's going on XL. You know, got to root for the home side. So yeah. Plus, I don't really think Prophecy Harold was saying, have really shown much so far in this second series.
Okay, now Nate, the only person who predicted it with myself correctly, that reason we're going to get that win, who do you reckon? Get that clean sweep of predictions.
Gonna go with my boy Rocking and Sheck, Prophecy. I think they're gonna take it.
Wow. Wow, that's going against my prediction, but hey, listen, you're the expert. Gentlemen, enjoy this map.
All right, ladies and gents, hello and welcome back. And it is going to be none other than Inferno. It's Prophecy up against XL Esports. And as we both said, well, our predictions lie where they lie. But we both think XL are going to emerge victorious, don't we?
No.
No, did you say Prophecy?
I said Prophecy.
Sorry,
I mean, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's because I thought, you know, you'd surely take a madman to think that Prophecy lost all 3 games so far. You seriously think they've got what it takes in the tank?
Yeah, because like if you look at on paper, I feel like Prophecy have some pretty good players. I mean, surely they will be able to edge out a win at some point. And I feel like, I don't know, it feels right. You know, I've got that gut feeling. Yeah, I've got that gut feeling. Like, if I had, you know, $1,000, I'd bet it on this match. Maybe not, but I have a gut feeling.
You're a brave man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just think you predicted reason, so now you're, you know.
Yeah, so now obviously the biggest
telepathic
expert. Yeah.
Right, here we go. But I tell you what, the one thing that second match definitely showed us that here at the Gfinity Elite Series, anything can happen, and that's just how close the games have been so far today. But here we go. Rockin is certainly rocking at Banana as he gets first blood, first frag of this map. Straight onto Boaster. One CT rotates round towards the back of that B bomb site. Another one's actually come from CT spawn, which in this 4 versus 4 scenario leaves it 2 CTs on B, 2 on A. But Excel still, slowly but surely, creep their way up towards the top of Banana. They've got a smoke on Jacob, a smoke on Windansky as well, and given that 3 of them have armor, this could end up being a decent B take if they can get that first kill. If they don't, then things could end up being relatively difficult, and Mink is going to get that first kill as the T's walk in. They all rush straight into ruins as Connor nails Gecko in the head. Mink finds himself significantly outnumbered, but he gets 2 kills nonetheless, and now Connor, the Irishman, in a 2 versus 1 to try and pick up this bomb and plant it. He gets dinked, but despite that, his gun is still feeling nice and warm and ready to go. He's gotten 2 kills already. Picks up the bomb and will creep all the way back towards behind the fountain. He's using it for cover, and now it's important that Prophecy creep up on the terrorists together. Connor needs to make sure he doesn't peek. He's already given away his position. Needs to turn this 2 versus 1 into a 1 versus 1 and utilize all these different boxes on this bomb site. Get his angles right, and he doesn't do that. So fair play to him. You know, he planted the bomb in the end, but let's be honest, that was always going to go in favour of Prophecy.
Yeah, I actually think this guy Connor is one for the future. From what I've seen when I've been playing with him in the league FPL Challenger, where he does also play sometimes, he's usually pretty nutty. So I'm expecting good things from this man. And
well, that's why I said he was Irish. He's an ex-Irish international.
Yeah?
He actually played for the Irish national team.
Interesting.
Pretty impressive. I don't actually know how impressive that is, but he's represented his country at Counter-Strike. Give him a break.
Yeah, I mean, that must still be pretty good. But honestly, I'm expecting good things of him. He usually is individually pretty insane. So him not winning that round, you know, was a very tough one. Got a plant though, and that was very, very vital for his team. But it is going to be Prophecy who now are in the driver's seat. They do have the bigger weaponry. They do have the better armor, especially because XL don't have armor at all. And they do have more nades as well. So everything is looking like it's going to be Prophecy picking up this round. Gecko going to be picking up the first, and that's the guy I highlighted, Connor, to drop. So Windansky also going to be found by NK. And the SMGs just going to town on these unarmored players.
Jacob, P250 in hand, taking a peek towards quad, but the crossfire is on as UMP fire goes straight into the back of last week's omened by HP MVP in the form of Jacob. Luzzer gets a headshot onto NK. which means that Prophecy are finally a man down, but still in this kind of scenario, given the amount of firepower that Prophecy have, it's still very, very tough to really imagine that Boast will be able to clutch this. Still, both Zek and Mink on full HP, both Gecko and Rockin still have armor, and even if Boaster goes towards a B-bomb site here, he'll run into Gecko.
And it doesn't work to violently shake your mouse and hope that you somehow get superhuman powers. So, second round goes in favor of Prophecy. Pretty much what we expected. It was just about when it was going to happen. But because of the bomb plant that Kona got in the first round, we are going to be seeing AKs, 4 of them in fact, and a single Galil on Windansky. So we'll see if XL can put the pressure right back onto Prophecy, who are chasing their first point. And if you are, for some reason, not familiar with how getting points works in the Gfinity Elite Series, basically you can get a point by even getting up to 10 rounds. So they have not even managed to do that yet, which is quite interesting, I'd say.
Yeah. Here we go then. So I like this kind of play on a map like Inferno. When you're a CT, you know, don't allow the terrorists that banana control. From CT spawn, or from the back of the B-bomb site, get that smoke down towards the bottom of banana, clear out banana, that way you can leave someone just waiting at the bottom of banana on the CT side at tree, and then rotate that extra man back round towards the A-bomb site that has plenty of more entrances to it. That way you can stack up your A-bomb site, and at the same time, given that you'll have so many people on A, it'll be almost impossible for the terrorists to go CT spawn to B. And, you know, as soon as that man drops at the bottom of banana, because he's so far down banana, you'll be able to rotate the rest of your lads really, really quickly. You'll get that intel so fast, and I like that approach that Prophecy took. But as the round trickles on, we do see number 2 in the form of Rockin actually rotating back towards the B. And number 1, that was Gecko, who was at the bottom of banana, he's actually pulled all the way out. And with 30 seconds to go, it does look like Excel are going to try and see if they've got the right key to unlock this B-bomb site.
Yeah, but with only 25 seconds to spare, that's not going to give them a lot of time to get into this bomb site. Gecko willing to take the fight through the smoke, and we do have a boost. Rocking is up here, but drops down when he gets flashed. Gecko, meanwhile, finds a kill through the smoke, and the bomb is going to go down on the B-bomb site. No flanks from Prophecy, and Boaster is going to be finding one as Sec. Well, doesn't trade it out, actually. He finds Windansky. While that is going down. Now, the retake coming in. Lozo finding not 1 but 2 kills, as it's all on Shek and NK. And NK is going to be the next to drop. Shek in a 1 versus 3 situation. Probably should just be looking to save here, Kainat, to be fair, but is hanging around the bomb site for a bit too long, as it turns out, as Lozo gets 4 really solid kills, actually, and ends up picking up the first round for XL Esports.
Yeah, Luzza there deserves a massive pat on the back because, you know, normally in that kind of situation, bombs down, you're a terrorist, you put a welcome mat in front of the bomb site, you say, come on, CTs, come to us. It was actually Luzza that went to them. 4 kills. He said, you want to come near my bomb? I ain't letting you anywhere near my bomb. Ran to him. Phenomenal shooting from Luzza, and that is why, you know, he is such a key member for this XL Esports side. He's got a pretty decent AWP on him as well. I'm sure we'll probably see that come out once XL are on the CT side themselves, because Inferno's not really one of them maps where you may necessarily, at least at this current moment in time, early on in the game, want to invest so heavily into that weapon, especially when, you know, you've got 5 AKs floating about. But here we go. Prophecy 2, XL Esports 1.
Yeah, this time it's Prophecy that don't have too much money. So XL Esports looking to just play it slow, and they did that the last round as well, and it ended up paying off massively, putting the first round on the board for them. Going back to what has yielded success previously. And they're just playing these rounds so slowly. There's absolutely no fights coming in, and the CTs are okay with them taking the map control, it seems, as they intend to just sit in the site. It looks like we might be getting a replay of the last round. They are going to be stacking towards the banana area with another execute lined up pretty much on the same timing as well. around that 25-second mark. We do have the boost once again, so it's a complete deja vu. Csgo going to be spraying through the smoke. Rocking is going to be finding 1 kill, but not going to be finding any more. It's once again the advantage going in favor of the CTs. Now, while they do have the numbers advantage in terms of weaponry, they are outmatched. As Czech looks to see if he can find a kill. He can. Luzo, the linchpin of the last round, going to be removed this time as Rocket finds yet another. Mink also finds one in the meantime, and Csgo, this time they make the retake work. And with 4 players alive as well, very key, hanging on to those weapons. And even because of Excel having 5 AKs, they managed to actually pick up 3 rifles. So instead of having to rebuy them, they can simply pick up the opposing rifles. So really good round from Prophecy altogether, and puts them in a really good position going forward.
Yeah, well, unlike last time, this time around, the CTs actually managed to at least get 1 frag onto the terrorists coming into the bomb site, which automatically already made life more difficult for the Ts. And obviously you didn't have that kind of strange rushed retake at incorrect timings coming in from Prophecy that allowed Luzza to capitalize and get the 4 kills that he did in that 3rd round. But here we go. Excel now having to quite literally pay the price. Only Jacob with armor and Kevlar. CZ75 in hand, along with a smoke and a flashbang. So that maybe suggests to me that they're probably saving it for a good old-fashioned rush take somewhere or Excel. Now, I'm pretty sure every single round we've really seen Excel execute on towards a bomb site has actually been towards that B bomb site. And it doesn't really surprise me that they favour in the end going towards that B bomb site. This kind of slow play where they kind of wait for the CTs to kind of make a mistake. It's so difficult when you're a terrorist, especially now they've got pistols, to actually peek arch and quad. So the time ends up running out, and they end up just having to fall back towards Banana because Prophecy aren't playing that aggressive defense, which is right, in my opinion, in this specific scenario, given that they've got the weapons and Excel Esports are the ones with the pistols. The problem is when you play so passive over towards the A bomb site and you leave Arch open, it allows Excel to get men into CT spawn. And now Excel are trying to wrap around this B bomb site, but Csgo knows about it as Csgo has the bomb at his feet. Luzza and Connor now trying to raid in on him, and Connor says, hello, 1 dig for me. And if Excel can at least plant the bomb here, it'll be a pretty decent return given how much they invested into this round. Connor, M4, nails Zek in the head, leaving it in a 2 versus 1. But with 10 seconds on the clock, I really struggle to see how he's actually going to plant the bomb, given the CTs were on Banana. And there we go. 4th round for Prophecy.
Yeah, and getting 4 rounds so early on Inferno, that's actually not half bad. We'll see if they'll be able to build on this. I'm not sure what the buy is for the T side here. We'll see now. It's another 5 AK buy, not opting to save some money for an AWP. Instead, they're just going to go with 5 rifles, and they do have some grenades to work with. 5 smokes, usually touted as the most important grenade of them all. And they do have as many as you can carry. So far, so good. Mink abusing this smoke, looking to see if he can peek on through and find an angle, and he will not be able to. Connor, it seems like he had the idea that there's probably someone trying to find an angle. Is going to be molotoving off the corner now, pressuring the CTs back. But it's actually quite interesting how slowly these rounds are played. Excel winding down the clock. That was really close, actually, to connecting. But it's rare that you see a match where there's so little action, where it's not just are they winding down the clock. It seems Prophecy, they want to take the fights on the sides. That's not to just throw a useless rhyme at you. It's the truth, guys, believe me.
So Boaster has made his way in towards lower apps, but the second I say that, he has a Molotov at his feet. Mink towards Banana gets the first blood kill, the first kill of the round with that AWP, leaving only Luzza on Banana by himself. And once again, like I said earlier on, what's happening is Excel are taking their time. They've pushed now towards Arch towards Quad. 2 versus 1. They should be able to get the kill onto Rockin, which they do, and head straight towards CT spawn. And now the Prophecy counter-terrorists have to. They just have to find themselves completely surrounded. Mink misses such an important shot. And 4 versus 2, every day of the week, Excel should be winning these duels, should be overtaking the B-bomb site, should be planting the bomb. And I think, as you'll see, they'll end up winning the round with NK in a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, they most definitely should. And we're looking at a 4-2 scoreline. I think NK should be happy with just saving his rifle. I mean, any kills that he can get in this situation is a huge bonus because the money on the XL side is so low, and they are actually exiting towards his part of the map. So we'll see. He will find one. That's a great shot onto Jacob, and he is going to just turn tail and actually try to see if he can get away from the incoming terrorists who also know that their money is quite low and don't want to hunt his gun. So they'll let him save it, and we'll see next round if Prophecy are going to be forcing up around the rifle. I think it is going to be the case that they would be forcing up. One guy had money for a rifle and the other had to double eco, so I think we are going to be seeing them buy up. It is not going to be the case, in fact, as Mink would rather save money for an AWP.
That's twice now, though. The Prophecy have just, you know, they've kind of given up that control towards the A-bomb site, you know, where the mid connector comes in, and it's allowed XL Esports to wrap around the B-bomb site, dedicate half their troops through Banana and half their troops through Arch, and Prophecy haven't really had an answer for it. Now, I don't really expect them to have an answer for it should it happen for a 3rd time in a row, hey, given that 4 of them have pistols, but it is something I think we should keep an eye on, because at the moment, so early on in the game, the reason why XL are playing this so slow is they're trying to feel out their opposition, understand how they're setting up, and it's important that Prophecy, for me, you know, when these kind of things happen, that they have a dynamic defense. They need to change things around if it's not working correctly. Otherwise, Excel will keep on, you know, pushing the right buttons round after round after round. And when you're the CT side on Inferno, you don't want to end up giving away too many terrorist rounds.
That's definitely true. Boaster. Looks like they're going to line up some smokes here, and it looks like another wrap around the A-bomb site. I'm not sure if they're going to go to B again. Oh, is he going to be caught with a nade in his hand? He will, and Mink is going to be picking up that frag. So now, all of a sudden, a 5 versus 4 situation for Prophecy. 4 versus 4. And NK with the AK does actually take 1 frag. He could be what completely changes the round here. Takes another frag as well. And now Jacob and Windansky. 25 seconds left is all they have. And once again, an XL player is caught with a nade in his hand, but Windansky looking to carry his entire team on his back. Make sure that they all, in unison, get over the finish line. The only man that can stop them now is Rocking, and he will do his best. Jacob with 1 HP in a 1 versus 2, misses the crucial shot. Does actually get gifted a chance at a second, but Rockin is going to be taking him down from behind, and that's another money reset for XL and a 5th round on the board for Prophecy, which on the CG side of Inferno is a really, really, really good start in my opinion.
It is, but again, Prophecy went into that round with 4 pistols. Why did they win this round? Where did XL go wrong?
I think, you know, it's the thing that happens sometimes where you feel like you should slow play it versus an eco, but you end up slow playing it so much that you just get pressured with time. And in this case, it was the fact that they actually used too many nades, I guess you could say. I mean, obviously, that's super unfortunate that they get caught twice with nades in their hands, but sometimes it's better to just keep it simple. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the better choice, but I think that could have, in this scenario, perhaps worked better.
Yeah. Gonna feel sorry for Boaster in Boiler Room, but obviously there was just so many elements that led to them losing that previous round, and now it's up to them to change their fortunes. No one's going to change them round for them as Mink carries on getting up frags. There's his 2nd of the round, holding Arch. I said they needed to change around that A-bomb site defense, and they most certainly have done that. Jacob all alone now, the XL Esports in-game leader, as he hits the apartment's floor, and there we go. Pause is going to come in, and so far, so good for Prophecy.
Yeah, 6 rounds, 4 in the good. 62 scoreline is... I mean, I've already mentioned it so many times, but it is actually really, really key that they are picking up these early rounds on the CT side. I would definitely view Inferno as being a more T-sided map. When it first came out, I would have definitely said it was I mean, the new version of Inferno.
Yeah.
I would have said it was a CT-sided map. But that's just because people hadn't really figured out how to play it as a T-side. And now that people have, you know, set executes and know the feel of the map and what angles to peek, where to flash, and so on, it seems like it's turning more and more into the T's favor. So a typical 9-6 scoreline isn't too far-fetched. So Prophecy being already on 6 rounds is really strong, because that might be all they need for this half. And yeah, if they get any more, it's just a really, really sweet bonus.
A sweet, sweet bonus. And there was a timeout from Excel. Some highlights on screen right now. It was a really nice play from Windansky. Obviously, one of the more experienced players within this Excel esports lineup. And it's worth mentioning as well that if we look at the last Gfinity Elite Series, Excel were the only UK team that actually finished in a playoff position. So, you know, they come into the second series really wanting to fly that Union Jack. And it's safe to say they've probably not been as impressive so far in this second season, but obviously only time will tell how exactly that pans out. But what I really like about their lineup is it almost feels like they've got the right mix of experience and talent. You've got Jacob and Windansky, who go all the way back to the CS Source days. You know, I've even been to events like 30p. And then you've got the younger talent like Boaster, Connor, and Luzzer, who have probably been around for maybe a year or two, but they come with phenomenal aim. And most importantly, they've got them 2 experienced heads to learn from within their process of trying to develop themselves as a team.
This is a really cool play from Prophecy. This is a boost you don't see that often, actually. It's pretty cool that they use the Molo and the smoke, and they boost up Mink to set him up really, really well with the AWP. Unfortunately, he missed this shot on Connor, which does mean that it's another stalemate, 5 versus 5. And Excel once again just running down the clock. They are very thorough and methodical at taking this map control, but they don't leave themselves that many options when they do execute this late in the rounds.
Yeah, you know, no fakes really coming out and trying to, because that's the issue. When you leave it so late, the CTs will just dedicate most of their men towards that one bomb site, rather as opposed to if they like maybe up the tempo a little bit, left one person towards the top of Banana and kept the B CTs occupied, whilst you throw them smokes towards A and try and take the A bomb site. You then end up going into the bomb site up against 3 players, rather than maybe 5 players or 3 players with 2 players rotating through CT spawn thick and fast. But here we go, because this is what's going to happen here. 25 seconds on the clock. As soon as these smokes come over, most of the CTs are going to start the process of rotating anyways. But here we go. Gecko with a lot of work to do. Rocking gets one as well before Connor nails Mink in the head. 3 versus 3. And the B bomb site is opened up for Excel Esports as they look for round number 3. Zek rotating from Banana, but does have Luzzer hiding at sandbags waiting for him. Problem is, Luzzer on 13 HP. If Luzzer goes down, Connor will be completely surrounded by angry counter-terrorists coming in, looking to try and retake this bomb site. Connor with 1, and that's exactly what I was worried about, which leaves Windansky in a 2 versus 1 situation as Luzzer falls to his death. Windansky with a spectacular task on his hands to try and pull off, but just could not do it in the end. I think questions might have to be asked to an extent between Luzzer. And on that note, over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Guy Knight. So we are going to pause the game for a short break. We'll be back at 8:30 to see the thrilling conclusion of the game between Excel and Prophecy. Prophecy are still on the hunt for their maiden win in Season 2. Excel looking to secure victory for themselves. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Elite Series here at the Gfinity Arena in London. Now listen, we've got an absolute cracker of a match scheduled for you this evening with Team Envy taking on Endpoint. But before that, we've got some unfinished business to deal with. We have a nice little bonus to bring you as we conclude match 3 of the day with XL taking on Prophecy. Now Prophecy are currently leading the match 8-2. Let's see how the rest of the tie plays out. I will pass over to Kaya Knight. Niels, over to you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And at the moment, as things currently stand, NATO, it's Prophecy with 8 CT rounds on Inferno and XL with 2. But we are going into round number 11. It is going to be a buy round for both sides. And what better way, you know, to turn things around for XL than right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I really hope they can start gathering a few rounds here on the T side, because honestly, you know, I would describe this match, this map Inferno as being slightly T favored, and so XL being down 8-2 to a team that has yet to get any points whatsoever in this season of the Gfinity Elite Series. That's definitely not great. So we're hoping that XL can now show up and show a bit of individual prowess, perhaps, or team play, whichever is needed for them to get back into this match. Do see a bit of aggressive play coming out here from the Prophecy side. We haven't seen them do too much aggressive plays towards the B bomb site. It's basically just them trying to hold down parts of the map. So we saw them early on where they would smoke at the end of Banana and just try to keep their map control on lockdown all round. And now it seems like they are more fond of just holding on to the car and sandbag area. But they have given it up, and now the T's, they are onto it. They are slowly creeping closer, taking the map control. And Kaya, do you think we'll be seeing another B-side execute?
XL, I hate to say it, you know, because obviously I'm rooting for them, but they're starting to look like a broken record. You know, it's like Jacob's got a tactic book somewhere under his belt, and the only thing written inside of it is the letter B. Because so far we've been seeing the same thing again and again and again, but it might just about start working. None other than Boaster, who boasts onto the scene and boasts onto the B bomb site to get 2 entry frags. Cometh the hour, cometh the Boaster, and now Prophecy, well, they're not even going to bother trying to retake the B bomb site. Instead, they're going to try and hold on to these weapons. They did invest quite heavily into this round. And finally, XL, well, they've knocked on that B bomb site door and they've finally got in pretty convincingly. But so far, every time they've tried to really go in, I think it's safe to say that it's kind of been 50-50 whether or not they've tried to really, you know, take it as efficiently as possible, and actually gone on to win the round from that point onwards. We've not really seen them maybe try and take apps control, try and smoke off Arch, head towards quad, and go towards the A-bomb site side of the map. At the moment, they're a little bit one-dimensional, and for me, I think they're going to have to be a little bit more dynamic and, you know, pull more out of their arsenal if they are to really try and rack up a few more terrorist rounds, which, as you said, they badly need.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also great that Mink managed to save the AWP here, because he has actually been very impactful with that weapon. And this means that because they hung on to the guns that they had, they can drop a few rifles around, and we do see a very strong buy coming in from the CT. So worst case scenario for XL now is that they lose this round, because that will break their money once again. And if they do that, then if their money gets broken, it's a really, really bad situation for them, because they'll be down by so many rounds, and it'll be almost impossible for them to get, I don't want to say get back into the match, but I mean, at some point you've got to start to wonder if it's the whole match that's slipping out of their grasp by simply throwing too many rounds on this first half.
Here we go, like you said. They've got to take, as Pasha would say, full control, my friend, of the state of the game. State of Inferno as things currently stand. Jacob preparing that Arch smoke as Boaster attempts a wall bang towards quad side through the wall. There we go, there's the smoke. But unfortunately for them, on this A-bomb site, which they should have really realised and learned by now, the CTs play this A-bomb site so passively, they don't need to waste these nades. It's, again, not too dynamic from Prophecy over towards the A-bomb site, because they've not really had to change it around, and even some of the few times when Excel have gotten through to CT spawn, it's not actually caused Prophecy too many problems. But here we go. Mink now with that AWP has been forced to retreat back towards the A-bomb site, and Excel can finally actually start asking questions. But it's the CTs at the moment who are reigning absolute supreme. Connor in a 1 versus 3. The push came in from Excel, but they've not quite managed to capitalize until Connor picked up the AWP. Suddenly, 3 versus 1 becomes a 1 versus 1. Bomb goes down. Connor, AWP in hand, knows that Gecko is nearby. And it's a battle of nerves, a battle of wits. Connor misses the shot. Oh, Connor! 3 versus 1. He somehow finds a pixel of the Bulgarian's head to aim at.
8-7.
And he chopped his head off and clutched the round. What a round that was for Excel. It seemed like they were down and out. It seemed like Connor had such a tough job on his hands. But somehow, he managed to pull it off.
I mean, I'm looking forward to when Connor watches this VOD and he realizes that before the game even started, I said, oh, I'm expecting good things from this man. I mean, I feel like we're probably not going to be seeing a better play tonight than that. That was really, really impressive. A lot of really, really nice shots, and not only that, it was just an all-around, really well-played round. Like, the fact that he picks up the AWP and then jumps down and instantly gets the frag that allows him to pick up the bomb and get the bomb plant with 1 second to spare, and then, yeah, all in all, just a phenomenal round from Connor. The guy who's now dropped very low, actually, 42 HP on him is all that they have. And the CTs trying to see if they can actually find an opening, but this T side from Excel, I mean, I've already used the expression, or yeah, I've used the expression that they have like a very thorough and methodical default here on the T side. This is actually a bit different with Jacob trying to take mid alone, but it seems like there's not really many gaps in the default. So I think Prophecy actually make the right decision by playing very passive. It would be nice, though, around the like 35-second mark if they could start updating info. It ends up being them being passive on both sides, and then they can't really stack accordingly. But here comes the push. It is going to be on the B-bomb side once again. Gecko going to be in the B-bomb side. He is the first to fall, rocking with an AWP. Got it all to do now, but doesn't really have the right angle, and in fact gets taken down through the smoke. And because of the rotations being so far away, it's the question of whether they should even go for this, and they decide it's probably a wiser choice to just save. So once again, we do see the 3 A players cower in fear after Excel have taken control of the B-bomb site.
Yeah, it felt to me there like Gecko was in the prime position to at least run that clock down a little bit and at least, you know, keep his crosshair on the bomb site just to give his teammates time to rotate and prevent that bomb going down. But because of how he kind of like peeked the T's towards Banana with an obtuse angle, he actually made himself an easier target in the process. And as soon as he went down, not really sure if there was much Rocking could do, but bar just not, you know, sit behind the smoke, hide behind the wall, and let, you know, time trickle down for your teammates to rotate round. But all in all, it just felt like quite a poor hold from the CTs towards that B-bomb site. And if I was probably one of the CTs on the A-bomb site, I'd probably have come out of that round relatively disappointed with my teammates. But, you know, we know Excel have the ability to do this. They brought it back to 8-5. And I'm sure it won't be the last we see of them.
Oh, hopefully not. Mink looking for this aggressive peak, but he is just burning to a crisp. Manages to get out of there with only 12 HP left, and he's still going to go for this aggressive peak. And it might just work. He does get the kill, and somehow manages to avoid the nade. Pops on the corner. Had it hit the wall behind him, it might have just been all that it took. But that actually is probably the earliest frag we've had in this entire half, and that might come into play here as Prophecy. Now, not only do they have the man advantage, they're looking for yet another check with his favorite weapon. As he's told me, the AWP is unfortunately not going to be finding anything. And instead, it's just going to go back to Excel, playing out the default, playing really, really slowly all across the map, taking all of the map control necessary, for them to be able to execute onto whichever site they like. And the site that they are growing ever more fond of is the B-bomb site. They have had a lot of luck, has to be said. So for them to go back to that previous success is not that surprising.
They're probably aware of the fact that Prophecy are playing with 2 AWPs and that one of them was, in the form of Mink, was last spotted towards B-bomb site. So they've got a lot of smokes, a lot of Molotovs to throw in towards this B-bomb site. Try and, you know, isolate by killing that only rifle towards a B-bomb site. And before you know it, you've got full control of it late on in the round. And there we go. That is the AWP down as Jacob gets a first frag as they try to take over this B-bomb site. Zek's going to be rotating with the AWP. Somehow gets a jumping kill onto Luzza, who'll be very disappointed to fall to his death in that kind of fashion. Now, who's going to get the next kill? That's the question. Jacob knows that there's bound to be a CT coming through the smoke as Boaster sprays and prays towards CT spawn, leaving Windansky all alone. It's Windansky who gets exterminated towards the back of the B-bomb site there. On Inferno, and well, splendid retake from Prophecy, but I do kind of as well feel like Excel maybe we're over peaking at times there.
Yeah, especially the guy in Banana. I don't.
You have to feel sorry as well for like Jacobs getting done through the smoke as well.
Yeah, did he get killed through the smoke?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. I must have.
Oh yeah,
that was. Yeah, I remember which one it was. But I think that might be down to the. There's like a huge advantage if you are inside the smoke as it starts fading. You can see out of the smoke, but people can't see into the smoke. So I think that might have been what happened. Really good pick from Czech though. And Mink, this boost. He's apparently the biggest fan of this boost ever because it's like every single round he's up here. It's a bit of an offering now, but he got spotted. And Connor. He's gonna flash and he might actually make a play off of this, but isn't gonna. He's just gonna play it slow and methodical, like they have done, or half.
He'll know he's there because of that Molotov coming his way. He's gonna throw a Molotov of his own, and he's gonna deal damage to Mink, and he gets the kill in the end as well. It's Rockin' who gets absolutely barbecued towards a B-bomb site, and that is now, as we can see on the radar, going to force the rotation towards B to come in from Gecko. So now the Prophecy defenses are going to be split in this 4 versus 4 situation. It means the CTs can cover a lot less ground, and before you know it, bada bing, bada boom, the nades rain in towards the B-bomb site. Mink and Co with it all to do as Excel bounce into the bomb site. Gecko down on 21 HP. Connor, the Irishman, with the frag through the smoke, who gets revenge for what happened in the previous round. Boaster just about manages to plant the bomb. 4 versus 2. For me, this has to be an Excel round now.
Yeah, surely there's no way for Prophecy to get back into this. NK does burn out Connor, it seemed. And a good smoke onto the Banana. Good flash, though, from Excel. They might catch him off guard here. And it's too much for NK. He does drop eventually 9-6 in favor of Prophecy, though. A halftime scoreline that they can definitely be happy about.
Tell you what, though. Obviously, despite the fact that they are going into the second half without a lead, Excel looked pretty cool, calm and collected, pretty confident. And, you know, fair play to him. Obviously, we came back from the break, and it was heavily one-sided in favor of Prophecy. And to go into the second half at 9-6, Excel, for me, deserve credit where it's due for turning the game around. And there it is on our screens right now. That 3 versus 1 clutch from Connor was almost the turning point, really. That's how it felt.
Yeah, I think it definitely was. Sometimes you just need something. You need that one round that can give you something to shout about, and you're back to winning ways. But one thing I want to mention as well is that if you do play such a slow and methodical playstyle like Excel did on the T side, you can only really do that if everybody believes that the plan is going to work. Because if one guy stops having faith in the plan, then he might go and die, and your whole default is completely wrecked. So it shows to me that Excel have really, really strong teamwork and good chemistry for them to be down 8-2 and still play such a slow and methodical style. So I think that it definitely signals that Excel Esports, they have a way of coming back into this. But if Prophecy manage just one more round, they will be getting their first point on the board in the Season 2 of the Gfinity Elite Series.
I think for me, really what we saw was portrayed a bit of an issue with the Prophecy defense. And I did mention it early on before the pause, where Prophecy kept on giving up, you know, that banana control for Excel. And it was clear since, I think, the pistol round, that Excel had it under their arsenal to throw the right smokes, throw the right flashes, plenty of Molotovs off the skybox to really hit that B-bomb site home and hard. And Prophecy, for me, they kept conceding that bomb site, but they themselves weren't being dynamic and doing something, you know, to prevent it happening again. And essentially, Excel was so strong taking control of that bomb site. I think for the past 4 or 5 rounds, they did genuinely keep doing the same thing again and again and again. And once they broke in, once they got that first frag, and there was a lone CT left on that B-bomb site all by himself, it was easy pickings for the rest of Excel. They planted the bomb, all got into decent positions, and bar the one round where the CTs managed to retake it, you know, the return ratio of rounds that Excel got from doing the same thing again and again was pretty impressive. So for me, Prophecy need to take a hard look at themselves.
Yeah, most definitely. But it does look like we are on the way once again. Lozo does find a frag off of the flash, but immediately gets traded, and a reflash comes in. Connor gets the kill onto Shek, and now Prophecy, they are in a situation where they have to decide, do we want to go for this, or do we want to fall back? And it looks like they want to go for this. Unfortunately for them, Jacob comes in from the back lines, though, as Gecko finds one, needs to find another, and is not going to find it. NK is going to go for the hero bomb plant inside of the smoke, and will actually get it. So that means that they can buy up in the 3rd round instead of the 4th round, which is likely what they're going to be hoping for. Except if they are going to throw a spanner in the works and buy up in the 2nd round here. Try to get that force in early and hope to, yeah, pretty much change the tide of how this half could end.
Yeah, well, only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that is what they opt to do. And there we go. Technical timeout for Prophecy after the pistol round. And as things currently stand, a very, very close game indeed. Going into the second half, 9-6 in favor of Prophecy. There we go. There's the first pistol round. It's gone in favor of Excel. You'd really expect Excel to then go on to at least make it 9-8 if Prophecy obviously don't go for that forced buy, because they planted the bomb the pistol round, so we do expect them to at least buy early come round number 3, even though knowing my luck, given what I've just said, they're going to do what you said and go throw a spanner in the works and go for the early buy regardless, thanks to planting the bomb. But we'll have to wait and see. I think so far it's been quite a tactical battle. I think both teams have been quite one-dimensional and reluctant to really try and change things around. But you know what they say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And for me, going towards the end of that terrorist side, Excel realised that taking that B-bomb site was working well for them, and they got the 6 rounds that really they knew they needed going into the second half. Now that they've won the pistol round, it really does even things up, and it just feels like anything can happen at this stage. These last few rounds in this second half are really going to end up being the game-defining rounds, because so far there's barely anything that allows us to split between both sides.
So definitely, I completely agree. Fortunately, we do have a technical timeout, so it looks like we are going to be replaying the pistol round here because of some technical issues that occurred before the first damage was done, and therefore the pistol round that we just talked about
it's irrelevant.
Well, it's completely irrelevant.
Yeah. So yeah, okay then.
It also did seem a bit weird because it felt like we saw the start of the pistol round, saw that they had issues, and then we got out of the game and went into the game again and played out the pistol round. So I think it's much better like this. I think it was pretty much called in the first 10, 15 seconds of the game, and I don't think either team will really be unhappy with it being restarted. I think Excel will be very understanding.
Yeah, so obviously if you've just tuned in, this is week 4 of the Gfinity Elite Series, 2nd season of course, and we've got Team Prophecy up against Excel Esports, and I think it's safe to say that Prophecy, our Bulgarian friends, up until this point haven't exactly had the best tournament so far. They've played 3, lost 3. They lost against Method, 16-9 in week 1. They then went on to lose against Reason, your Danish friends, 16-8 in the second week. Then they went on to also lose 16-7 to the Swedes in Epsilon. But this is their chance to redeem themselves and at least, you know, get some points on the board. And they are in somewhat of a commanding position, especially given that now the pistol round that we saw earlier on isn't actually going to go in favour of Excel. They're going into this second half nice and healthy, 9-6 lead. If they can win the pistol, get the next 3 rounds, then they'll be in a commanding position to take this map and, you know, maybe rack up their first win. As far as Excel are concerned, they've played 3, lost 2, won 1. So, you know, as well, if Excel go on to win this game, it could potentially put them in a commanding position in terms of the large picture going towards the end of this series, give them a few more points, you know, help them get one step closer towards top of the table where I believe Epsilon probably currently, in fact, off the top of my head, I'm not quite sure who is top of the table, but...
yeah, it's either Epsilon or Reason.
Yeah, I saw the table before, but I'm so tired. My memory is going. But yeah.
I think actually it must be Method and Reason in the top, because Method and Reason had the same amount of points. But maybe also Epsilon. I'm actually not entirely sure.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All we know is that Prophecy could really do with a win at this current point in time.
That
I mean, to be honest, in the grand
doubt.
scheme of things, it probably won't really end up making that much of a difference unless they were to miraculously go on from now until basically time for playoffs, win every single game they play, which, you know, could be possible. And it could put them in a top 4 position if other teams drop points. But really, it does feel like you look at the table as things currently stand, and it's very difficult to see them maybe make the playoffs. But you never know in Counter-Strike. None of us expected Reason in game number 2 to obviously beat Epsilon.
None of us.
Well, okay, you did. Fair enough. Sorry, my bad. To beat Epsilon, and they did. And, you know, anything's possible. I feel like the amount of times I've said anything is possible today.
Yeah, but
it's almost like I'm a spokesman for a certain sports brand. You what?
It has been true.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Anything has been possible.
100%. So
100%.
So yeah, Prophecy. To be fair, I completely ruled them out going into this game, and they've been pretty good so far. They had a few nice boosts at Banana. Obviously, we see some of the more popular Counter-Strike sides sometimes attempt them from time to time. A bit repetitive in how they did them, but I think it was Mink at Banana, kept on doing it, sometimes changed it around, sometimes boosted himself up.
But he never actually got the kill off of it.
I think he got a kill once or twice, but they weren't really, Excel weren't really putting men towards Banana until late on in the round once they'd pulled out. So, yeah, but it gave them that early Banana control at least. But in my opinion, from a tactical perspective, it almost seems counterintuitive that you do all that hard work as a CT early on in the round, throw that smoke down, etc., boost Banana, get control of Banana, and then give it up later on and not rotate that extra person towards B. You rotate that extra person towards B, and then Excel maybe wouldn't have won that round where they actually, in fact, it was 2 rounds where they put men towards Arch and towards the B bomb site. But anyways, on that note, we are going to go back to Tom.
Yes, thank you very much, Kyanite, and to Niels, NATO Suffix. We'll eventually get used to having the gentleman over there, and his prediction is currently looking very good. He said Prophecy would get this win. Unbeknown to us, it's actually paying off. He's a man to follow. SEO, what have you made of the game so far?
He's a man to follow, apparently. But, yeah, it's started off really well for Prophecy. I think it was 8-2, and then there was a bit of a pause. And since then, XL have had quite a, I wouldn't say like a resurrection, but like they've come back into it fully. Their executes were going fine, but then Prophecy are eating perfectly well. So now it's just looking a lot better for them. Yeah,
they weren't really taking their shots when they need to in the earlier rounds. But at the end of the day, I see you've put that 8-4, you put Connor there in a little arrow. Yeah. What does that mean, SEO? Talk us through that one.
Yeah, Connor had an absolutely phenomenal round. It looked like everything was going to hell with that round, and then suddenly he just whips it out. I think it was 1v4 with about 18, 19 seconds of the clock. No, he shouldn't have no chance whatsoever, but Connor.
Connor is the man. Harold.
Yes.
Connor.
In my notes, it says Connor as well.
Yes, but not on the desk at all. But what did you make of that first match? You know, were Prophecy finally beginning to show what they're capable of, or was it the fact that XL always start slowly?
I think that is exactly what it is. XL always start slowly. They didn't get firing until halfway through. And when they did, I mean, you know, it was an observation that's pretty clear. B, 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 B. All they did was go B. But once they started to win going B, and they kept going B, there was nothing Prophecy could do about it. They were just falling apart. And going into the second half, I think it looks really, really bad for Prophecy. Now, one thing that concerns me, Mr. Deacon,
thank you,
Mr. Doughty, they're on 9 rounds, Prophecy. They're 1 round away from a point. They are 1 round away. As Charlie Puth would say, they are 1 round away. But instead of saying call, he'd say round.
Yeah. Are you going to say it's going to be a mind game, Harold, that they're not going to make that?
I don't think they're going to make it.
OK, that's a big prediction. And if Connor produces the minerals like he has done at this point, an absolute gem of a round. Talk us through this, SEO.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to include his last name, another like McCool performance from him, but didn't happen. That's his last name.
Nutty. Nutty.
You kind of look a bit lost.
When you crack jokes like that, you miss the footage to talk over. Don't do that again. That's what I'm hearing in my ear right now.
Fair enough, switch it around. We'll switch the audio.
Yeah.
You're done. I want the whole thing. I want the lot.
But how do they continue to do something like that? How do they continue to keep Prophecy up against the wall at the moment and come back into it? Because obviously, when we go into another pistol round, you've got a situation, you know, the eco rounds that they can take off Prophecy and start making it harder and harder, and then the prediction that Harold had that they won't even make it to round 10.
I suppose the big thing is they swapped sides as well. Like, XL have traditionally been quite weak on their CT sides. Like, Mirage especially was something like average 3 rounds of CT. So there's a heavy chance to hear that Prophecy could take the win, honestly. The prediction sounded a bit wild earlier, but now it's looking really good.
A wild prediction. Harold, you didn't go for it either, but your man that did is over back there by the casters area. NATO, Kai and I, the predictions could come right, couldn't they, for either of you, but based on what we've seen, are you changing your opinion on who you think is going to win?
I'm not changing my opinion just yet. I think it's far too close to call. But I think this upcoming pistol round that we're going to have played again, as decision come from the admins, because of obviously one of the teams had a technical difficulty. I think this could end up being a defining round, given that the team that end up winning the pistol round actually go on to capitalise on the next few rounds, given the economical advantage that they end up getting, which is really what we'd expect, NATO.
Yeah,
I love calling you NATO. It makes me feel like I'm at some kind of, I don't know, national meet. NATO, UN, everything else, EU.
Yeah.
But
whatever you say.
Yeah, carry on. Sorry, my bad.
Nah. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think the pistol round is really, really important. And I feel like the reason why I'm saying that is especially because I actually feel like Excel, even though they didn't get that many rounds, I feel like they were the better-looking team of this first half. I think Prophecy got a lot of rounds down to the fact that Excel's economy was in shambles and they got the pistol round. So if they don't pick up the pistol round right now, I think they'll be in major trouble. But hopefully for them, they'll be able to pick it up and we'll see them cruise to a 12-6 scoreline. But if not, it's likely going to be the 9-9 that we're going to be seeing. But Gecko with not 1 but 2 kills at the beginning of the round here, and now we have the stack. A good bait could sell this and draw them into the Sandbags player, who would be able to take at least 2 kills, I'd say, if they don't clear him.
Yeah, Gecko began things off by blasting away one of the 2 CTs. Now, as the clock ticks, it looks like Prophecy are going to continue by faking Banana. They're going to leave 1 or 2 people down there towards the bottom, but the bomb, as we can see towards the top left of our screens, is still actually outside of apps. And Jacob is going to spot the rotation coming in from Rockin', and he's going to nail him in the head as well, which is nice to see. Suddenly, 4 versus 3. This round can still go either way. Connor's now going to probably take a look down. Banana still has someone to try and fight off, while Zek and Mink make their way towards the A bomb site. Bomb gets planted, code gets input, and now Excel know exactly what's happening. The question is, has Jacob gone unnoticed as he creeps round quad? Not just 1 terrorist to deal with, but 2. Looking for Zek in the corner, pulls the trigger. Can he get the kill? He can, but he has another terrorist behind him. And NK returns a frag. Luzza with it all to do. Can we see heroic repetition, of what we saw from Connor in the first half? Luzza with a headshot, gets the kill onto NK as Mink looks to peek him. And now Luz is actually holding on to it, but let's be honest, Mink was never losing that situation. 10-8 the score. 10-6, sorry. And Prophecy take the pistol.
A really important pistol round. We talked about this already. But I mean, obviously the pistol round is really important, but it's equally as important that they build off of this. So it's very important for Prophecy that they do not lose this round. If they can get this round and get the follow-up eco, it's hard to see how they weren't gonna, like how they're gonna mess this up. So a super important round for both teams. Excel winning this would put the pressure back onto Prophecy, at least slightly, and Prophecy winning this would almost not cement the victory, but definitely it would be a good helping hand.
Excel, we've got 3 CZ75s. Desert Eagle in the hands of Luzza, who was really good at times in the first half, and Windansky opting to go for the P250. A few smokes as well, flashbang for Jacob, and the terrorists, meanwhile, Prophecy, just taking their time, playing this passive. You know, they don't want to get too up close and personal and end up giving away some of these big weapons they've got the economy to buy up, and of course they have bought them up.
Yeah, and they do have mid control, and they are stacking accordingly as well.
The
rotating
around as well.
Yeah, exactly. They are going to be stacking towards the B bomb site. So now it's up to the minds of the Bulgarians to see if they can actually predict this. But another smoke is going to be dropped here on mid. And if Czech had gotten that kill, I'm fairly certain that the round would be an entirely different story. But now, with 25 seconds, they are going to be running into a site that's stacked with 4 pistols, just ready to wreck house. Rocking going to be taking down the first one, though, and Boaster going to be taking him down. Trying to get more, but gets taken out by NK. NK with another one. That was a jumping shot onto Luzza as Connor tries to find a gap in the smoke, but none visible to him just yet, as Jacob and Connor now, without armor and just CCs, they are looking to see if they can get back into this round, but it might be a task that's a bit too big, too tall of an order, as Connor does miss the only opportunity they really had to get back into this round, as Jacob now in a 1 versus 3 has nothing he can possibly do except for getting exit franks, and he will take 2 of those, so not quite all too bad, as NK gets his 3rd of the round and picks up an AK. But I actually just noticed late round that I don't think many of the CT players bought armor, so they might not even be going for the eco here. They might be forcing up. It's a bit interesting. We can actually hear what the call is for the CTs. He's saying, let's stack 4 in the pit.
Yeah,
so,
it makes me wonder whether the people at home can hear it. Bulgarians watching, get on Steam now. Just kidding, obviously. But yeah, there we go. So it does look like they are going to stack 4 towards the A-bomb site, towards the pit specifically, is what Jacob said, but that doesn't seem to have quite materialized just yet. But it's understandable why they've gone for this stack. Unfortunately, it does look like Prophecy are actually going towards B, and as soon as Jacob falls, they'll realize it's empty. But understandable why Excel went for that decision. Sometimes in this kind of scenario, NATO, you have to take that kind of gamble.
Yeah, I mean, they can't really do much with just USPs and no armor. They have to take some sort of a gamble, and unfortunately it's the wrong one. This entire Inferno match has just been about the B-bomb site. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I don't think I've seen this many rounds played out on the B-bomb site in a game before. One thing I don't like, though, is that NK is lurking, but he has an AK. So if they do actually stack up on him, or like group up on him, and they'll be able to take him down, they'll easily be able to save his rifle, and even if they walk into him as they're doing now, he doesn't get the $600 bonus. He's only getting the $300 bonus for each kill, so I'd much rather see an SMG lurking, but Rocking takes 2 francs. That's going to be a lot of money. This is 3rd of the round as well, and Gecko cleans up, so 12-6 in favor of Prophecy heading in to the 19th round.
Round number 19. And Prophecy looking good. But is it time for Excel to finally bring out the big guns? It is indeed. I mentioned Luz's AWP skills in the first half. We didn't really see it when they were on the terrorist side. And I do firmly believe that this is really Luzza's time to shine. He's going towards the top of Banana, and he does have Prophecy players heading towards him, so this is going to be very, very tough for the Excel boys. As Connor peeks out, oh, it was a team kill from Gecko! Oh, assist obviously from Connor, but that's exactly what the doctor ordered and what exactly Excel will have wanted going into this round. Boaster now, all eyes on the apartments as he sees terrorists running towards him. Drops one, knife pushed out. NK now drops into the pit, but Excel should have more than enough of a numerical advantage to see out this round. Excel, they really needed this round, and it looks to me like they're going to get it.
Yeah, Loza low on HP, but should be able to. Even if he doesn't get this frag, there should be no way that they're losing this round. And Loza, did he just jump shot him? I think he might have done it. Well, at least a nice round on the board for Excel. They need to start building a few rounds here. They need a few rounds in a row to get some
momentum.
Yeah, build up momentum and cash as well. We'll see how Prophecy decide to go about it here on their T side. We saw, as I've mentioned a million times, very slow and methodical T side from Excel, and I don't think Prophecy are the type of team to go for the same style. So I'm interested to see how the styles clash and who will come out on top in that fight.
Nice from Connor, getting in the faces of the Prophecy lads, saying, you know what, I'm not scared of you. I'm going to sprint down Banana and kill you first. Put you a man down, mess with your head. That's exactly what he does when he gets that early frag. Every time I look at Zek's name, I think of Top Kek. Top Zek. Should become a Counter-Strike Bulgarian meme.
I heard that Shek actually is some sort of a fish.
Okay.
It apparently in Bulgarian means it's like some specific sort of fish.
Interested? What's Zek and chips?
Yeah. Second chips.
Second chips. But anyways, here we go. So, Luzza. AWP in hand towards Banana. It's only Mink, really, who's taking a peek towards that corner where CT spawn is. Connor's been boosted up to that same place we saw Prophecy trying to play from before, the small flowers on the wall. And with 35 seconds and counting on the clock, it looks like Prophecy want to actually head towards B. They threw some smokes towards Arch, I think one towards Quad as well, to maybe try and fake an A take, but they're creeping up very, very slowly. Connor, what worries me for him is that he's so low on HP right now, but if he can get at least one kill before being obliterated himself, it would be a really, really good return for Excel. They've not even spotted him. I'm not quite sure what language I'm trying to speak there. Bulgarian, I think. Gecko gets a kill onto Connor. Will the bomb go down? Oh, the bomb gets planted! Windansky, how can you let that happen? Zek now, hidden at the back of the bomb site. He might be able to get the better of Jacob as well. Only time will tell. I'm not quite sure Jacob realizes he's there because he was in the smoke, so he may not have actually seen the Molotov fly out. It's worth noting, though, that it has been planted for Banana. Zek, one kill, looking for more. Boaster chases him down and does get the kill. And NK with it all to do. Come at the armor, come at the NK! 12th round on the board for Prophecy. Great plan, and it just feels like if Windansky had stopped the plant, that round could have just developed so differently.
There was no development if he had gotten that kill. There wouldn't have even been time to attempt another plant. So if he gets that kill, the round is over. Oh. It's yeah, big misstep. And it also puts Excel on a eco, so it's double trouble. Pretty much, it's dire straits here for Excel, who now, I mean, I want to try to find a way that they can get back into the match, but at this point, it just seems like it's kind of out of their reach.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do, especially in a round like this, dude, where like you've only got pistols, you know what I mean? It's men against boys. It's basically like taking 11 people from within this arena and putting them up to play against Manchester City or Chelsea or Arsenal or someone like that. You're never going to win. And
well, never say never. Jacob is in a really, really good position.
Have you seen Sonny play football?
Oh my God, can he get 2 kills here?
Peekaboo! Oh!
He gets the 1, and now the A side is completely clear. And Rocking finds the 2 kills on the B bomb side. That should seal the deal, pretty much. Boaster will be able to get at least 1 kill here on Rocking. Does not look to be the key case.
Hope the knife
Oh,
comes
the
out.
bomb is coming back to B. Highly unlikely that he makes anything from this, but if he can get the bomb planter, the guy that's actually in the site was low, so he did have an opportunity, but a very slim one, and it's not going to end up in his favor. So 14-7, kind of.
It's all about the fist bumps. All about the fist bumps. What is he wearing? Are they his normal glasses? I swear he wasn't wearing them glasses earlier, was he? Am I losing it? I'm losing it. I'm getting tired. I think I'm losing it. Right, okay. So, Connor this time going for the AWP, which is interesting, rather than Luzza. And, you know, it's nice to see. XL do have to try and change it around. It's no... Oh, God, what is this? Team Fire, is he being wallbanged by one?
I think it was being wallbanged, yeah.
Oh, it's been brought all the way down to 11 points of health. And I can't help but feel like the fat lady may just as well have sung for Inferno. And if Prophecy win, you'll have guessed Reason in our second match of the night as the correct underdog to win that second match. And you're almost in the process of also
I told you if I had
Prophecy.
$1,000, I'd place it on Prophecy here. That's I had the gut feeling. You don't have the gut feeling very often if you're me, but if you have the gut feeling, it's... I don't think I've ever lost a bet on a gut feeling, so...
Fair enough. I wish I had that gut feeling. But anyways, here we go. I think from now on, whenever I'm going to place a bet, get on the phone to you.
But it's so rare. It's like, I have this gut feeling like maybe once every 3 months or something like that. It's very rare, but when it happens, I just... But maybe XL just come back now and I will look like the biggest fool in the history of histories. Or maybe they'll just win the next round and I'll...
The history of histories.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, okay.
The history of CSGO, then. Or CS, or whatever. Histories.
So, shame, really, that XL... Oh! Well, I was going to say, shame that XL couldn't at least get another kill to bid farewell to this round. They are actually going to try and trace him down to stop him saving that AWP. And like flies, Prophecy begin to fall. Now, financially, it's not really going to cause them too many problems. They are on 15 rounds. 15 rounds is, of course, match point. But credit where it's due to Connor, getting them kills might give him enough dollar maybe to add on to the limited amount of cash you'd have anyways to maybe share the love around, because XL need to go all into this round. They lose this one and they've lost the game. They've had a decent second series so far, unlike Prophecy, but it does look like Prophecy here on Inferno up against XL are going to rack up their first win of this second series, and congratulations to them. But let's not get complacent just yet. Still one more round to go. It's going to be NK who crawls into apps. Jacob all alone playing Arch side. He is going to fall back and become a little bit more passive, and they are going to come his way. Jacob with only a FAMAS in hand gets one, gets the double, but Mink is not going to allow him to make it 3. Luzza now with Boaster, his right-hand man. They need to stop this infiltration of the A-bomb site. The question is, can they do it? Loser says, yes, I can. Mink now is going to find Luzza, but Luzza finds him first, and Boaster gets the CZ kill. Prophecy walked into that bomb site, but in the end, Luzza and Jacob were just far too strong.
Yeah, I hope this is not the... This is not the beginning of a comeback, because then I'll...
Comeback is real, bro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they were to make a comeback, it would be pretty sweet. It's been a nice match. It's been a very, I would say, very slow match. But there's nothing like necessarily bad about that. It just means that it's the tactics that are winning the rounds more than it's just straight up raw aim. I feel like they've actually, especially XL Esports here on the CT side, have been really good at flashing each other forward. Especially Connor on that B-bomb side. He's gotten a lot of flashes and, you know, turn them into kills, and it's been what's definitely swung it slightly in the favor of XL Esports here on their CT side.
So here's a question. So far we've seen 2 games, and each and every single time I've asked you for a man of the match. So go on, based off of what we've seen so far, obviously the match ain't over yet, but given what we've seen so far, is there anyone who really you feel like has stood out so far?
I don't think there's anyone that's really stood out. I mean, you can make a case that Connor was maybe the man of the match, but I feel like it's fitting that we get the highlights here.
It's almost like production is saying, here are the highlights.
Yeah.
Choose.
But I feel like you could make a case for Connor, but they have only gotten 8 rounds, and some of his kills have also been, you know, just exit frags and the like. So I don't know. I think NK, he had a round where he was just like tapping heads in the pit, and in my opinion, if you're tapping away at LAN and everything, it's usually because you're I don't know. It means you're just not nervous at all, and if you're not nervous at all, it usually means that like you either view yourself as better than everyone else on the server, or you are better than everyone else on the server. So if I had to pick one, I would say NK. I think he's playing really, really well individually as well. Like looking further than just this match. Recently, I just feel like he's been playing really, really well when I've played him in FPL Challenger and stuff. He's pretty on fire.
So it looks like Jacob is going to flash Booster into App, so he took a peek there. He's not really spotted anything. And on that note, we could actually end up seeing a CT rotate over towards B, which, yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing through our side right now. That CT is Jacob. And it wouldn't exactly be the incorrect decision to make, but making the right decision is one thing, but also being able to repel the incoming stampede of angry terrorists in such an important round is the hard part. Windansky, finger on the trigger, only 1 kill. Needs to really get 2 in that kind of situation. Jacob rotates in, but can only get a kill himself as well. And you can't help but feel like this is a very, very difficult situation for Connor with the AWP. He's got to wait for reinforcements in the form of Boaster and Luzzer to come in and see whether or not they can stop Prophecy from, you know, putting the icing on the cake as far as game number 3 for week 4 is concerned.
Yeah, Gecko. Really important that he doesn't peek, but it's a really hard decision to make. If he peeks into the AWP, he's going to surely go down. And Mink going to be taking 1 Gecko with a trade. That's really, really well played from him. Luzzer got it all to do in a 1 versus 2 situation and is going to be taken down. So it is going to be Prophecy with a 16-8 scoreline. Any closing statements?
No. Well, congratulations to Prophecy. I think they've done well to get their first win on the board. And on that note, I think we're going to go over to the analyst desk and see what they think.
Thank you very much, Kainai, and Nato as well. Nato's saying he had that gut feeling. We've all been there, haven't we? But on this occasion, his gut feeling was a benefit, and he was able to pick the winning side there. My last one was because I ate too much. But listen, Csgo, Harold, we did not predict that. We didn't see that one coming.
No.
What on earth just happened?
It looked like a completely different team, to be honest. Prophecy looked a lot more confident, a lot more set up. It was a really good showing, honestly. It was really good.
Harold, how did you find that? Sat in the arena, watching?
Yeah, very good indeed. I mean, it looked as if maybe the momentum might have switched at half-time, but the technical timeout came in, and after it, we just saw a new team. Prophecy played very, very well indeed. They gave themselves a good start, and so really, it was a pretty standard game, well played and well executed.
Okay, gentlemen. So going forward with this, XL facing pretty much the end of the road in many respects. They're still mathematically okay, but Prophecy, this is a great boost for them and not going to be an easy team to take on and a guaranteed win.
Yeah, from now on, it's pretty much a sense of like pride. So obviously they're mathematically out, but you feel like the results can't exactly go their way properly. They've still got to play, I believe, Envy and Endpoint, which, you know, 2 hard teams to play against, and they're both right above them. So it's going to be a tough few weeks, but, you know, fight out for the pride. Yeah, indeed. And it meant a heck of a lot to those boys for Prophecy, didn't it? Yeah. You could hear them shouting and cheering.
And that's what we love here at the Gfinity Elite Series. Passion, love, and more passion. Because at the end of the day, you can play Counter-Strike. You can be the best in the world, but if you don't love it, yeah, you're nothing. Okay, if you don't get in that circle and be proud of being Bulgarian. Coach Harold there. Now listen, our primetime fixture is not one you are going to want to miss. The boys of Envy face another UK side and could face their 3rd defeat against Brits in as many weeks. Imi and his Endpoint side will be doing everything in their power to make sure that happens and have been firing on all cylinders in recent weeks. Join us again after the break for a humdinger of a game. See you then.